Hi Merrimack, and welcome to Discover Merrimack. This is a show about those hidden and not so hidden treasures in our town. My name is Rosemary Rung and I'm your host, and I'm so thrilled to have Hal Kuna and Arlene Magoon on. They're going to talk about the local Toastmasters chapter, which is called Merrimack Motivators. So welcome, and Arlene, you're the president, and how long has this chapter been in town?
This chapter's been in town for at least 10, 12 years.
Okay, wow. And how long have you been in it?
I've been in it for 3 years now.
Oh, okay.
It was one of the places that I found when I first moved to Merrimack.
Oh, okay. So how did you get started? Were you a founding member, Arlene?
No, I was not a founding member.
Okay.
I'm not sure how it got started, but obviously people want to get over that fear of public speaking. So here in Merrimack, they started this group right here in the town hall.
Oh, great. So what's a typical meeting like?
A typical meeting usually consists of 1 hour, and it's a very structured out meeting. In the 1 hour, we have roles for Toastmasters members to partake in, such as a functionary or a grammarian, a counter, and a timer as well. And in that meeting, it consists of giving speeches, where we practice the speech that we want to give for whatever occasion that we have coming up in our future, whether it's for personal or business. And then the other portion is table topics, which is a game that we play where we practice our extemporaneous.
Yeah,
that word always gets to me. But our extemporaneous speaking skills, because public speaking can sometimes happen on the spot, and whether you know it or not. And the last thing that we do is we provide evaluations and feedback, and that's the most important part of our meeting. It's the evaluation and feedback. This is really a sandbox for us to get along and teach one another about how ways we can improve ourselves.
Okay. How long? You said the meetings are an hour. How often do you meet?
We meet every other week.
Mm-hmm.
And during these meetings, if you don't want to talk, because we do understand how nerve-wracking public speaking can be, you can just listen and watch for several meetings, and then finally you'll feel more comfortable to stand up and say something. In those roles, the roles that Hal was talking about are really small roles, and you just have a few seconds to talk, and it gets you that feeling like, oh, okay, I did that. And next time you do a little bit more, a little bit more. We've seen some wonderful people come out of their shell and begin to do some real public speaking. It's really great. It's a great thing to do.
Oh, that's great. So do people join mainly because of work, that they are going to find themselves in a public speaking role? How you mentioned that you had just moved to Merrimack, so it was really just a way to get to know people.
It was a little bit of everything for me on a personal level. I think one of the best things about Toastmasters is that majority of the time people come in because they're looking to improve their public speaking skills, because that's what people tell us that we're here for. But we're also a community. We work with one another to not only improve ourselves, but also improve other areas in our community, because we offer Speechcraft, which is a way for us to interact with businesses and other local entities to bring mini meetings out to them. And what we tend to hear back is that I felt that we needed this for public speaking, but this is also a great leadership role as well, because as a club, we're always looking for individuals that want to practice some leadership roles, and before you take it out into the real world.
Oh, that's awesome. Tell me more about the Speechcraft. So what is that?
Speechcraft is a program that International Toastmasters runs to bring these meetings out to the community in more of a condensed format. I think a lot of the things that stop individuals from wanting to participate is that they don't want to make the full commitment to being a member. But what we can do is we can either go out to our businesses or other local entities that allow us to give us their time and space and some of their members, and we provide small classes. Okay. For example, we're actually going to be working with our local Y here, with one of them coming up here in just a few weeks, and what we're going to be working with them is icebreaker speeches. We're going to teach a few of their members on how to not only compose, but also to practice their skills, and then we're going to give them feedback so that way they can take things home with them.
Oh, that's wonderful. I didn't even know that existed, but what a great resource. Mm-hmm. And how many members do you have in the Merrimack chapter?
probably have at the moment
6.
6 of them.
Yes.
Yeah. And it fluctuates. Sometimes we have a lot more. Sometimes we even have less than 6. But we're always there to help the people who want to move forward in their careers. Or we've had people who come that just need to do public speaking for a wedding or for different specific things, and they know that they have to get up in front of people, and they just sort of roll their eyes and go, oh my goodness, I got to do this. So Toastmasters turns out to be a place to practice that and feel more comfortable.
It sounds like a safe place too. So you don't have to worry. People are expecting that you're developing skills, not that.
Right.
And then the people that you have that are part of the club, do they like just stay for a short time? Do you have any people that have been there for like 10 years?
I've been there for 10 years.
Oh, okay.
I have been at Toastmasters. I started in Amherst at their Toastmasters, and then I moved over to Merrimack, and I've been there for 10 years. And I saw my career go from a level where I wasn't speaking a lot of public speaking, but I knew that I had to. And I moved into a position where I was doing a lot more public speaking and doing a lot better at my work, actually doing the purpose of my work, which is to teach, and it really helped me a lot.
Oh, great. So the people that belong, do they come from Merrimack? Because I think you said you were from Amherst.
Right,
So
we
you
get
draw
people-
regionally?
Yes.
Yeah, we do. Anybody can come to our meetings, yes.
A lot of the people that we find come to our meetings come from within businesses of Merrimack.
Oh, okay. So they may live someplace else.
They
but-
do, but most of the time they work here in Merrimack. They work nearby the town hall because that's where we meet, and it's usually a great place to stop by after work, right?
Oh,
It's
yeah,
on the way
okay.
home because our meetings happen at 5:15. So,
Oh, okay.
So usually they get out of work sometimes a little bit earlier to be able to make our meetings because this is, in most senses, it's really professional development. One of the things that I've always told people all the time is that you may be talented at something, but you're not ever truly good at anything unless you practice it just a little bit. And that's what Toastmasters is for. It really gives you that practice, that sandbox place to try out new ideas, whether you have them or not, or to grow your skills. And the most important thing, for me was that I've worked in sales my whole entire life. And I've always been, people say, oh, you always seem confident when you're up there. And that's true, but that's only because I practice. I would not have the confidence that I have if I didn't practice.
Yeah. Oh, that's. Now, do you find there's some members who aren't in business? Why would they?
We had a woman who was with us who was an athlete, and she was, I believe she was running races, or was she bicycling? I can't remember exactly what she was doing.
She was certainly an athlete. Yeah.
Right, and she needed to talk about what she was doing in that capacity to her public, her fans, and so that's where she was practicing.
Yeah.
Oh, great!
Yeah.
So you've gotten some good feedback from members. Maybe developed their skills and then gone on. And do you hear back from them? Do you have reunions or anything like that?
Certainly.
Yeah.
We have members that do come and go sometimes because, like I said, they use it for specific moments in their life. Whether you're an athlete and you're going to be in front of the camera more often and you want to get better at your public speaking skills, or you're a business person who wants to either nail that next presentation or meeting that you have in front of you. There's a lot of different reasons to use Toastmaster, but most of the time we find that people come back because they say to themselves, they're like, I used to be a better speaker than this. And then what happened? And it's a matter of practice. I tell people all the time that people who are great public speakers have practiced, either by themselves or they've had avenues to practice in before, whether that's the church, the military, or doing a lot more out in your community. They're having these experiences and they're just building this confidence with each and every time that you stand up there. And that's the purpose of public speaking. It's to get up and try it again and again, and you'll just keep getting better.
Yeah, that's so important because I think what people don't realize a lot of times is just having a conversation with people can be very different than getting up and talking to a large group, because people you don't know, maybe they're looking to get something different from what you're saying than what you would in a normal conversation. I've noticed just in my experience between business and working, in the area of the public, it is different how you portray it. Sometimes you have to be less direct, sometimes you have to be more direct. One of the things I know I struggle with, other people do too, is a lot of times I'll say like, or, does Toastmasters address those kind of things?
We definitely address those. And people tell us that after a couple of meetings, they say, wow, I noticed so-and-so at my work was talking and I counted all their ahs and ums. I never did that before. Now I'm more aware of myself. And we teach them what to say instead of ahs and ums and likes.
Yep.
Can you give me an example? Give me like a free lesson here about what you would do.
Well, one of the things that we do at our meetings, it's one of our functionary roles that we give to a Toastmaster, is an ah counter. And their job is specifically to count the ums, ahs, so's, likes, clutch words that we use. So that way they can report it later on in the meeting and make you cognizant of it. So, for example, once you've done a meeting once and you get that report back, the first thing that everyone tells us when they come back is, I went to a meeting with my superior or my peer, and I was so lost because I just kept thinking of the ums, ahs, so's, and that they were saying. and then they're like, I don't know, am I the kind of person that does that too? I need to get better at it. And the one advice that we give to people all the time is what, Arlene?
Is pause.
Okay.
Pause. Instead of saying it's just a filler word. Just pause. People will look at you like, oh, she's thinking about what she's saying rather than filling it in with sometimes says you don't understand what you're even talking about. So to pause helps people perceive you as a better speaker and that they'll understand what you're trying to say.
That is such a great tip. I'm going to remember that. Now, if someone was interested in attending one of your meetings or joining, what's involved with that? Like, do they sign up to be a member or just show up?
Yeah, attending our meetings is free. You can just show up. We do it right here at the Merrimack Town Hall twice a month on Tuesdays from 5:15 to 6:15. And to join, there are fees associated with it. The majority of those fees go to our international foundation that is run by Toastmasters International. A portion of those fees also give you access to an online portal called Pathways. Pathways is the curriculum program that Toastmasters has for all of its members. So there are 5 levels to it, and the purpose of the curriculum is so that way you don't have to think about the projects that you need to do, because sometimes people don't have speeches that they need to give all the time, right? But Toastmasters gives you projects for you to create speeches with. And within those projects, there are even leadership components to it as well. For example, one of the projects that I had to do was create a marketing plan for our club. And I've never had to do that before, right? You've never had to be like a VP of marketing to try and come up with an idea. And then whether the idea comes to fruition or not, the purpose is that you're practicing skills that you've never done before. The skills that I hadn't done before prior to then was, talk to a designer about creating maybe a new logo for our organization. Never had that conversation before, but then I was able to because of the project that I had at hand. And it was a lot of fun. I got to make a new logo for our club and just decided to go with it. It was a lot.
That's great. How did you come up with the name Merrimack Motivators?
That was already there.
That was already there. I think that one of the original members that started this club, it was really about motivating each other to become better. Whether it's public speaking or helping within our community, we wanted to just become better individuals. And that's what our club is for. Everyone that steps into our meetings are people that want to work on themselves, and we want to do it together. And like I said, it's the safest sandbox anyone could be in.
Well, I'm hearing so many great things because it's not just building the public speaking skills, but in doing so, you're developing leadership skills.
Absolutely.
And credibility. There's so many things that go along with that. And being taken seriously and being seen as a leader by others because you're able to convey something cogently and clearly and get people's attention. So I think it's a wonderful program. I'm so glad to have you on. I'm not sure many people in Merrimack have heard of Merrimack Motivators.
And the lovely thing about Merrimack Motivators is that we are a Toastmasters club, and there are tons of Toastmasters clubs here within our community that you probably haven't heard of. There are corporate ones within corporations that they run within themselves to help their own employees. Then we have like our local community ones, like our club that we have here today. But if little did you know, there's one in Nashua, there's one in Amherst, there's at least 2 in Manchester alone. These are all, and we all run at different times and different days to be able to accommodate the whole entire public to see which one is the best fit for them. So,
Okay. So if somebody's typically goes to the Merrimack one, you said every other Tuesday at 5:15 here in Town Hall.
Yep.
Let's say they can't make it. Can they go to another meeting at another community?
You can attend the meeting, but you wouldn't be a member of that club.
Oh, okay.
But you would be able to attend the meeting to get your public speaking fix for the week. If you did want to have a dual membership with clubs, you can certainly do so. It's all up to you.
Okay.
But the reason why there are so many clubs out there is to be able to accommodate to everyone's lifestyle. There was a time where I know Arlene was waking up at 7 a.m. to practice, but not anymore.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that as well.
And are the number of members in a particular chapter limited? Because it sounds like if it's an hour and you're counting ums and ums, I mean, somebody could take up a whole hour.
There is no limit to the amount of people that can join a club. When it does get big, then you register online that you have a speech that you'd like to give in a particular week. And so we will wait for you to fill that role.
Okay,
That's
so you're
how it
able to
works.
accommodate
Of
all the
course,
needs.
of
All right,
course,
that's
yeah,
great.
yeah.
And it's a very structured meeting. Our meetings are structured. The reason why they are structured is because that also helps individuals for them to run meeting themselves. Whether you're at work or whether you're doing a local community thing, time is something that we just don't have enough
time.
of. And one of the other most important things that we do is that we time our speeches, because if someone tells you you have 5 minutes, you want to respect that, and you also want to be able to convey everything that you need to in those 5 minutes.
That's right.
Absolutely. And sometimes when you're giving a speech, you think it may be 10 minutes, but it may only be 5 or maybe 15. So practicing could give you a good measure, a sense of how much time has elapsed.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
So what else is there anything else you want to say about Merrimack Motivators?
I think I want to emphasize what Hal said about it is part of leadership, in that when I started with Toastmasters, I was working for the federal government in FEMA, going out to disasters. And when I went out to disasters, I had to deliver some really tough information to community members. And in doing that, I wanted to make sure that I was very succinct and that they understood what I was saying, and I needed to learn how to speak in that way. And through Toastmasters, I learned to choose 3 to 5 really important points and deliver them in a way that the community could use what I said and take action on it. And you can imagine in my work in going to a disaster, people wanted to know, well, what can we do right away, and not any fluff, and in a short period of time. They want to know, what is the government going to do, what is the state going to do, and what can I do as a community member? It was really important for me to get those messages out, and I can tell you that it really helped me. And I don't feel so nervous going out in front of a large group of angry people and telling them, the government's not going to give you a heck of a lot. But this is what we can do together. So, it was really helpful for me. And I can imagine for most businesses, if you are a manager and you have some information to deliver to your employees that is not so great, learning how to deliver sensitive information is really important.
Absolutely, absolutely. Hal, do you have anything you want to add, or how would somebody get in touch with you to learn more or come to a meeting? I mean, we've given the time and the day. Where do you meet in Town Hall, by the way?
Oh, right up here in the Matthew.
Oh, in the
Thornton Room.
Matthew Thornton Room. Okay.
Yeah, it's a great space. We love it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it like the first and third Tuesday or second and fourth?
It's a Tuesday, and it's every other Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
So it really
All
does
right.
depend on the month.
Oh, all right.
But we do have our schedule online at merrimackmotivators.com. People can also my contact information is there. Actually, my personal phone number is there.
Okay.
People can reach out to me there or via email. We have a contact inbox. But in terms of emphasis, one of the most important things I think that our society is facing moving forward is the lack of being able to give public speeches, especially for our youth, right? Especially as the youth grows into management and leadership positions, they're not getting enough places to be able to speak in front of people, to make them great communicators. And we all know the difference between an okay leader and a great one, and that's how they're able to disseminate and communicate with everyone around them. So if you have either a new employee that you think that this should be a place for them, or a leader that you want to see this skill grow, come to any Toastmasters club, and we'll be able to help you do that.
Well, this has been wonderful. Thank you both so much for taking time out of your day to come and let us know more about Toastmasters and the local Merrimack chapter. I want to thank you very much. And I hope you enjoyed today's show. And if you're interested in building your skills in public speaking and leadership, please get in touch. We're going to have the website address below so you can get in touch with them and give Hal a call and meet up on every other Wednesday at 5:15 in the Matthew Thornton Room. Thank you very much.